Dave, it's my pleasure to talk to you about as captain of the thirds this year and then last year. So I remember when I spoke to you, I said you're captain of the thirds this year, and you said kind of indignantly, I thought, yeah, I have been, before, What's your game, mate? It was a tone of it. I'm interested. The thirds, I always think. I was going to say I've never been above the fourth, so that's not true actually. I did on one occasion get my second highest score in the thirds.
Oh, really? What are you doing on the 7th of May then?
Don't know.
You might be needed.
Why? What's that?
That's the first game of the season, John.
Oh God, that bad. I tell you. No, it's interesting though, because I always think the fourths has a kind of a very definite brief. It's kind of bring on the youngsters.
Yeah.
Let them enjoy their cricket. Really, the results actually ultimately don't matter. That seems to be the general view. I mean, they do matter. Obviously, if you get beaten every single week, it gets a bit numbing. But in general, the emphasis is on fun and enjoyment. Now, the thirds is kind of a step up, in the sense that they're taking the cricket a bit more seriously. The more emphasis is placed on getting a result, I would think. But I mean, that's just my take. But you're the man skippering them, so.
I was asked when I was asked to skipper to try and get the threes closer to the twos, because at the moment the threes are in div 11 and the twos are in div 7. There's a big jump from 3 to 2 at the moment, and it needs to be closer because there's only Division 12 below us, which with the fours are in. So there needs to be a closer. So we do need the threes to start performing and doing better.
Well, I remember my first season in the fours, I think it was. We were dreadful. We were truly dreadful, and we actually came bottom. And I thought to myself, well, that's going to be the end of it. And then they actually created a new division below 12, just to accommodate, exactly, just to accommodate us. But it's a crazy situation. So I mean, I always think the way you really notice the job of the captaincy, it seems to me, is in terms of fielding, particularly, and I suppose more than anything, actually bowling, deciding who bowls where and who's more likely to get something out of the wicket.
It's difficult for the threes, especially last year, because availability last year wasn't great.
Well, last year was rubbish though.
Yeah, for the whole club.
Yeah,
it wasn't great, and so you never got the same people playing. But as far as the captaining go of bowling, it's a case of you've got to have your best bowlers bowling.
Yeah.
And it's Saturday cricket at the end of the day. It's league cricket. It's so much harder to fit. I think skippering a Sunday team or a friendly team is harder than a Saturday team, because Saturdays win at all costs.
Well, I remember a famous occasion, and we're probably best to not mention names here, when one of BYG's bowlers was anticipating bowling and was told by the skipper he wasn't going to, and it ended up with, you know what I'm talking about, it ended up with a certain exchange of opinion. But it raises an important point though, because the captain in question, who we won't name, with hindsight, I mean, he had a point. He had to press for a victory, and I believe they did actually win the match.
But I think in the ones and twos,
I'll say goodbye, see you soon.
I think in the ones and the twos, it is definitely important. You've got to go for the win. If you get that, great. If you get a bowl, great. But if you don't, that's sort of. But with the threes and fours, it is a bit different. You do have to give people a game. You have to be aware of that. But at the end of the day, you've got to win.
Well, I had an occasion in the fours when, again, one of the young players, he wanted to bat, so we put him in as an opener. I don't think he may even have been out for a golden one, but he was out for a dark horse. So on that basis, he wanted to bowl later on in the game. I just wasn't quite sure. It was a very closely fought game. The opposition needed, I think it was 32 to win off 2 overs. So I thought I'll give him an over, a couple of overs or something. Maybe 2 overs was left, or 3 overs. Again, first over went for 17. And I remember the occasion quite clearly. I had Vish come tearing down the pitch towards me and said, "You're not going to give him another over, are you, for Christ's sake?" I'm paraphrasing. I don't think those were his exact words. But after the end of all that, no, I didn't. And the lad was in a real huff. Yeah. And to this day, I don't know whether I've got that right or not.
It is hard. It is hard. As I say, normally in league cricket, you sort of go for the win, but as you go down the pyramid, you do try and give everyone a game. That is the way.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of a difficult one to balance because on the one hand, winning, there's nothing that powers the kids up more than winning. Actually, they enjoy winning.
Yeah.
What do you do about sledging? This is the other question. I asked Andy this as well about
you can't get enough of it. Is that the wrong thing to say? I've got to say,
no, I mean, everyone has different opinions.
I've never. People probably laugh now, but I've never really gone in for the outside of somebody's fishing and all that. To me, that's a bit childish.
It's a bit childish, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, the one thing I do like, when it's done well, I think it actually just makes everybody laugh. And I have to say, I've never knowingly been involved in any kind of really unpleasant.
No,
sledging.
No, not sledging. No.
But it seems to me that's part of the kind of. It's almost like a commentary on the game.
Again, the higher you go up in the league,
the
worse it is.
Yeah, well, there's nothing I've ever been. Exposed to, never likely to.
At our level, no. We'll finish off in the car park afterwards, maybe, but certainly not on the field.
And I'd like to emphasise.
But no,
we're going to end up with about this much recordable material.
But no, it is a case of the lower you go down, the less it really is. I think.
Yeah.
I think when I've seen certain.
I was amused. I was sledged once by some kid who was about 12, I think it was. And it was a few years back. The Parkies was a bit of a problem, and I was shaking like crazy. And he said something. He says, "Come on, this guy's nervous as hell," And so I actually stopped and put my back down. I said, "Actually, I've got Parkinson's now. Do you still want to chirp?" No. I said, "Zip it, take it." And you've got a kind of chastening lesson, I think.
Yeah, no, it is part and parcel of the game because they see it on the television.
I think they do, yeah. Now we've got stump mics and things like that, so they hear it as much as see it. I wanted to ask you about a couple of games, which I've been looking through your stats and I did remember them, but I can't remember them now, so they'll be along the bottom of this film when I do it. I'll put the stats there. Your first game, if I got this right, according to Jockey's doing the stats, so
obviously they're right.
Obviously, yeah. You missed out my century, but we'll have done with that. But one of the games, according to the records, you started playing. Your first game for BYG was 2000, basically.
Yes. So
and the stats reveal that you scored, I think it was 6, and that you were run out by Dom.
Oh really? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Let's give me more information on this game.
I can't remember at all. I've got to say.
You can, Dave. I'm sure you can. Surely.
No, I don't recall a lot of things like that. I really don't, because that would have gone straight out of my body.
But you look at the card and you can kind of piece together the story of the card. Dom was still there at the end. Jockey was on 1. The last wicket to fall was you. Run out, and it has to be Dom.
Yeah, I do take silly runs at times, but I think that must have been Dom's fault.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I'd only just started playing cricket again, because I was 35 then, I think, I can't remember. And I hadn't played since school when I was 16.
I gave up playing cricket when I was about 17. Nobody noticed, so they carried on selecting me.
So yes, I was just getting back into it then. Yeah, after 15 years of not playing, or 20 years of not playing.
And the other one I was talking about, wanted you to talk about, is your high score, 97.
That was what? Last year? 3 years ago, maybe. Yeah, no, that was
97 though.
Yeah, I was caught on the boundary going for 6, would you believe? And they dropped everything all game. and he caught it on the 3rd attempt before he stepped up.
Yeah, the worst thing is they juggle them, as I said, and you think, I'm going to get away with this. I was the only game I played in the thirds. I skied one to the wicketkeeper and just went literally vertically up. And it took several minutes to come down. So as it came down, I decided to commentate on this, and I said, "Oh, he's looking nervous. Is he in position? I'm not sure he's going to make this." And he didn't. He dropped it.
She blamed you for that.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because the whole tone of the game changed. They've been bowling me some stuff, which actually for 1 second actually, hit.
Yes, yeah.
And that stopped. Until instantly, their best quick was on.
Up a bit.
And
No, so my big, I want to score a century before I stop playing. That's got to be the.
I'm going to have to live to be about 1,000 if I'm going to put that.
Yeah, and also it's got to be on a Saturday because friendly cricket
doesn't count.
So it's got to be a Saturday.
My top score was on a friendly. I'd say. And for the purposes of this discussion, it did count.
Yes.
And Jacob played in that game as well, and we actually batted together. It was wonderful. And I said, "What do you remember of that game, Jacob?" He says, "The samosas, brilliant samosas."
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Food.
So, anything else? Recall? Nothing? No. He said, "No, the samosas were good though." You can't beat. Playing. I remember playing with you and I think it was Tom actually at Flinwell on one occasion.
Yes, yeah.
And I think I was fielding at Gully, I think, and dropped one off Tom. The best part was watching Tom's reaction. I mean, you could see he was planning an act of major violence, but then realised, it's old John. we can't beat the shit out of him necessarily.
Yeah.
So I said, "I'm really sorry, Thomas. It's all right."
Yeah, and it can bowl quite fast.
It almost became a stumbling, I tell you, because he bounced off my stomach fast and came back the other way. Leaving himself out really killed me.
No, that is actually a good thing with cricket. You can play with your children. Should I rephrase that? You can play cricket
please do.
with your children. Because it's one of those games you can still do that. Football, rugby is a bit different, but because John as well, my youngest one, I play with them all the time up at Fran, and in the same team, it's great.
I think you can't. I mean, those are some of the best moments of my life.
Yeah.
I won't repeat the stories because they were on Andy's interview actually, the previous one. But you can. But yeah.
It is.
I'm not sure where I was going with this. But what do you think? What do you think sets a captain apart from the rest of the team? Apart from the C in brackets on the score.
It's man management.
Yeah. Well, I think it is. Yeah.
That's where Don was fantastic as a skipper.
I think Don's a really good club guy, to be honest, as well. He has a way of making everyone feel as though they're important, even if they're not. He's even discussed bits of tactics with me and things like this. And I think to myself, why is he bothering? But he is good. It just makes you feel wanted.
You need to get the best out of people.
Yeah.
I think that's man management is the biggest part of it, whatever the sport.
I think it's also in the thirds as well. You've got the advantage you don't have to concentrate on the team. In the fours, I think management is as much about making sure the team arrives.
That's the one thing that has been a positive since COVID is we don't have to do teas anymore because as a captain,
no, I don't agree.
It's a nightmare. It's harder to get the tea sorted than anything else. That's a major headache.
But the cricket tee is going to die as a cricketing institution if we don't get it.
Yeah, I can understand that. But if you
can't have people bring their own sandwiches. It's not what the empire was built on.
I see that point. Yes, I can understand that. But for me as a captain, when trying to sort teas out is just not an issue. It shouldn't be.
No, I agree. I don't think we've always managed that well at the club.
No, every other club has sort of like the ladies that come and do it, but we don't.
No, so a team of a bunch of ruffians, basically.
All bought from Lidl's the night before or something.
It's a difficult one. I think. But I agree with you about man management and things. I said my first game, and at the time should have been my only game as captain, was we scored over 200 and we still lost by 10 wickets. It's just, you just think, how is this possible? The law of averages must have been, but they didn't give us a chance. So I remember going to the pub here in the Brecknock Arms, incidentally, as this little piece of history was written, and having to come in and say, because they were, all ready to applaud victory. So I think the other three teams had won that day as well. So and we were reserves, for 200 odd. And we lost. I think I just walked in and had a glass of champagne and bung it up.
Yeah, I think also in threes and fours, one person can take the game away from you.
Yeah.
It can be a bloke just coming down from the twos or the ones or doesn't play much. And he can suddenly get a ton or take 6 or 7 weeks. You think, oh.
Well, we had that, yeah. We had one guy got a ton, the other one. The other opener got 85 or something. Our bowling just went to pieces. And I kept and you learn that what looks good, at one level just doesn't actually work. So I had I think it's Max Douch bowling, and he's a good bowler.
He was quick.
He was quick, and he was quite lively. And he had preference for the short ball. And I said, just give him, lift it up a bit and give him something to think about. And I really thought he was going to do the job. But you watch them, good batsmen just appear to have more time, don't they, for some reason. But they were just whacking, what to me looked like a decent short ball delivery. To them was a long hop.
The trouble is that also at this standard, people can't play slow bowling.
Yeah.
I prefer to face fast bowling because it comes off the back quicker.
Yep.
A decent slow bowler has me in knots, and it does a lot of people.
I think a lot of people just have too much time to think about it. They think, well, how should I play this?
Yeah.
How about this? No. How about there it goes.
It's a fact, and as I say, if you can just bowl straight and on the stumps, you get wickets. Let the pitch do the work, and the batsman play all round it.
Well, I mean, the thirds, of course, would be a play council would, which
that doesn't get above ankle height anyway. So
Jekyll hates it though. He said it's like a roller coaster. It twists. He says, you can pitch the thing in a logical place. And he used to get no ball because his run up was on the roll.
It's the slow bowler that bowls just on the stumps that Cowsey might not get lots of wickets, but you won't go for many runs.
No, that's true. So what do you, looking back, I mean, presumably your 97 must have been pretty close to being your best.
It was my best and still is and probably will be.
No, I mean, taking the score aside, I mean, was that the game that you derived most pleasure from in terms of the innings?
No, because I've scored runs in the past that have been a lot less but more important.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think one of the most significant aspects of it is where it is in the context of the game.
So I think my best innings was when the twos won Division 8, whatever it was, and we had to win at, I can't remember the name where it was now, it's a horrible place, and I think I might have been 35 not out, but it got us over the line to win the league.
Yeah.
So that to me was, and it was on a Saturday, it meant something.
I had a great pleasure, I have to say. Fascinating down, but I had a great pleasure playing with Scotty, of course, towards the end of his career in the fours. And he was uncaptainable, he just did his own thing. He really was. The only way you could control him was by telling him when he was bowling and if he was bowling. But batting wise, I remember the game was against Buxted Park, and we bowled them out for 52, I think it was, and we won by 1 wicket. we were 47, I think it was, for 9, and Scotty was the last batsman. And I said, just tap it, nerd it around. I said, we'll get them. No, seriously, don't do anything silly. Just keep your head. First ball, the guy bowls it towards him, Scotty hits it, absolutely middles it straight back over the bowler's head for 6. And the young lads, of course, who didn't realise the significance of this, were all coming around to congratulate me as skipper. And I thought, it was the last thing I wanted him to do.
That's the only way he knows to play.
He came off the field, I was still beaming, and and he said, sorry.
If he tried to defend that, he'd probably got out.
Oh yeah. So, with hindsight, it's learning shot. He couldn't play. But it just was. But in the context of the game, it turned out to be brilliant, but wasn't in any way intended. So, what are you looking forward to most this coming season? Well, I guess playing. Actually,
I think
after the last year or so.
Yeah, I think playing, but also a bit like Brooksy in the fours is getting the youngsters playing more and getting them, because it seems to be they can only play at certain times because of school and everyone's got exams and you're not allowed to play. It's just getting decent youngsters through and seeing them flourish. That's the.
I think that's the important thing, and the other thing which I think we need to address as a club is finding out why we seem to lose players amongst the seniors. We do have a.
Yeah, we do, but
I'm not suggesting.
But they're going on to better things.
Yeah, they often are.
That's.
But I suppose it'd be nice if we could retain someone a bit more than we do. But I mean, that's just why anyone like me, as it were, kind of the bottom of the pond, as it were, is thinking this. But it's, I think it's an important aspect. So which in the Frank versus BYG game, you know what I'm going to ask? Yes.
So
what do you do? Where's your allegiance?
You're talking Frank versus Lower Frank at the moment, or the wet feet as we call them. Yes, it can be a bit tricky, that fixture, because everyone knows each other and everyone plays. And I actually personally don't enjoy it.
I think it's one of those games which can actually turn ugly quite quickly.
Yeah, and everyone's mates, that's the thing. That's the thing. So I personally don't like it. That's my view on it.
And just another couple of final quick questions. I mean, of all the players you've played with, you've played with several generations even of people at
right, I've got to try and put a thinking cap on now.
Just on a separate matter, actually, I have to say, we were talking about Tom earlier, and you said about how he's pretty quick. He bowled, I think, the fastest. If we'd had speed guns, we'd be really interested. I genuinely think he bowled the fastest over I've ever seen at BYG. And this would be a couple of years back, I think. It must have been a couple of years because of COVID and all that.
Yes.
He was coming from the pavilion end. I mean, really fast, almost Yorkers.
Yeah, again, that's not nice to face either.
Oh God! And this is sort of gathering gloom in the evening, and the visibility is like there. It's not brilliant.
No. Fast bowling. Yeah. When it is fast, it is not very nice.
But he's genuinely quick in any understanding of the word.
Doesn't play enough cricket on the Saturday.
No, I think
that's another thing.
He needs to play more, I think.
Yeah.
See, he was playing football at one stage.
Well, he still is. That's the trouble. So he goes back to football training beginning of June.
Yeah.
So he's only got May, really.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So okay, I mean, as I said, you've played for the club many times over many years.
Yeah.
And I said the exact figures will be here underneath this frame somewhere. Stats and all the rest. So who are the players? If you had to put together your dream team, for this, I know, really. Okay, we might go for a dream team, but players you really just enjoy playing with, as it were, batting with.
It is my age group. It is the Doms, the Brookses. Just a really nice team to play
for. I think you kind of, you recognise like-minded spirits.
Yeah, and all these people are good at football, cricket and rugby, well not rugby, but golf. We all play stuff outside of...
I'll tell you a player who I always had a lot of respect for, a real time for. He played a couple of games for me in the Falls, is Mark Spicer.
Yes, so Mark plays for the threes, or tries to when he's not milking the cows. But
he doesn't sleep from about May to August.
No, Mark can destroy an attack.
Well, he has played some of the best. I mean, a couple of innings which I thought was magical. And it's what I was saying about, the best batsmen just seem to have more time to play their shot. They seem to be in position before the ball's out of the bowler's hand even. And I said he is a very elegant batsman indeed, I think.
Yeah, as I say, getting older now.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And watching and having played with the likes of Fred and Finn, we've gone on to fantastic cricketers. Some of the old juniors, Dougie, Curran.
He's a decent bowler.
Yeah, fantastic bowler. So we've had some really good juniors. Now I've played in the teams with them as they've gone up, and that's great.
I had Mark bowling actually in one game, and he bowled a beautiful outswing and came straight to me at gully, dropped it. And I said to him at the end of the over, I said, I apologised as you do every time. I have my apology completely worked out these days. It's a well-rehearsed effort. But I said to him, sorry, I said, is there any chance, Mark, you could try bowling in swings at all? And he said, I've never bowled, I always bowl out swings. He said, just as a personal favour.
Yeah, so I don't drop anymore.
Next over, he gets 2 of them. 2 wickets with a beautiful in-swing.
That's what we can do.
Oh yeah, when needed.
Yeah. No, so yes, I think and actually when the junior system first started, so a lot of the first team was from the very first sort of junior intake. So we had Tom in it, Dan Mack, Ashley, Lee Bates, and Doug at the time, so there were 4 or 5 players that actually gone to the first team from the first junior, one of the first junior setups. So it's.
And I have one final question for you. I'm going to ask all the skippers this: Victoria Sponge or fruitcake?
Victoria Sponge, or unless you've got some custard for the fruitcake, of course.
Borderline. We'll have to think of this one.
Yeah, Victoria Sponge.
Dave, my pleasure.
Lovely one. Thank you, John. Cheers.